I, as a citizen of India, as a patriot of India, feel highly disgusted, highly appalled, and very ashamed of what has been happening in Pakistan when Pakistan tries to use every petty tactic in its pocket to needle us. No less a delegate who was yesterday chased by an ISI spy, no less. So why is it, my question to everybody over here is, that we allow the Pakistani jihadi spy camps to run in the heart of the country, in the heart of the capital? And why is it that we continue to still have Pakistan as our esteemed guest in the capital? Joining with me on the broadcast to discuss this and finally come out with a sure shot solution to remove Pakistan and ensure these petty gundagardi that continues to happen year after year, month after month, and all we do is sending out these note verbals and these demarches to Pakistan, but nothing happens at all on the ground. So Sumit P joins me on the broadcast, and so does Baswati Mukherjee, and I also have Colonel Shailendra Singh, who all would be giving me their insight into what happened yesterday. Cheap, disgustful, and roadside sadak chhap tactic is what is the word that I'm going to use. Sumit P, Pakistan continues to stoop so low time after time after time. What's one sure shot way of ensuring that this does not happen again?
Megha, thank you very much for having me on the show. The point number one is, look, Pakistan is desperate. We have caught their two spies doing espionage. And now they have no visible proof or anything against India. So they are resolving to these tactics, and these tactics have been happening for quite some time. Because you see, ISI is rendered jobless. ISI has failed in Kashmir for 30 years. ISI is known a rogue organization. ISI has links with every known terrorist organization in the world. Everybody has called the Pakistani bluff. Now this ISI is rattled by India's military presence, by India's diplomatic presence, by the stature of India overall. Now what they are doing, as they are rendered useless, and Pakistan has an important army, what they do, they go and nitpick our esteemed diplomats in their territory. That's all they can do. What is the point of chasing somebody going to a market? What is the point of chasing somebody going to work? What is the point of chasing somebody going to a bank? You know, we don't do this in a bank, in a market and going to work. And Pakistan does not understand one goddamn thing. The embassies are not there for jihad and jasusi. That might be your tactic, Mr. Pakistan. We as Indians do not do that. So we have to call their bluff. We have to make sure they are not able to harass our diplomats.
But you've been calling their bluff far too long. Sumit Peer and Shailendra Singh, Colonel Shailendra Singh.
We have to.
Yes, those visuals. If you could come in over here and tell me, isn't it time that we throw out the Pakistanis, those embassies that are in the prime locations in Delhi when it comes to Chanakyapuri, when it comes to Shantipat, they need to just be thrown out, because this is not the space and the respect that is deserved by the Pakistani embassies and the Pakistani ambassadors. Okay, there seems to be some audio issue we'll try to resolve, but Baswati Mukherjee, highly appalling, not shocking at all. What needs to be done from India's end?
First of all, this is a standard Pakistani tactic, unfortunately, which is that out of desperation, they make the life miserable of our colleagues, my foreign service colleagues posted in Islamabad. This is called standard harassment. In the past, they have gone to the extent of trying to bump into the vehicles of the cars. They have intimidated their women. They have shouted nasty, obscene slogans, if you recall last year, at women who were on their balcony, at the kids. So this is standard procedure. Now, I agree with my colleague who spoke just before me that it shows the level of desperation. Why? Because they don't have anything else to do. They can't do anything else. We are on the top of the game as far as Kashmir is concerned. They know that India under Prime Minister Modi is not going to allow them to carry on with those same old tactics of trying to push terrorism across the borders. They know that the West does not support them. They know United States does not support them. They know that China, their great all-time friend and ally, is now at the receiving end from the US. They know that the US wants to have a strategic alliance with India in order to contain China. That doesn't suit them at all. So all this in the middle of an uncontrolled corona pandemic in Pakistan, because let's not forget that the Pakistanis have not been very transparent about their pandemic, but it is spreading very fast, where they should be actually concentrating on their own interior national politics. They are trying to do this to us. We on our side, I feel, should, frankly, in diplomacy with the Pakistanis, whenever this is done to us, we must reciprocate. If we don't reciprocate, they take it as a sign of weakness.
Exactly,
So
but
somebody
that's
tell
my
me that
question.
it's not
How
very
do we
polite.
reciprocate? Because those note verbals and those demarches are just not working. Sumit Peer, if you'd come over here,
Yeah.
how is that? How exactly are the note verbals working? Because even if we raise a protest, it's just going to hold on for a couple of months between delegates of the two countries,
I
and then it
wasn't
just
talking
dissolves.
not verbals, huh? No. Please, give me the floor.
Ma'am,
Sumit,
can
yeah.
I come in,
Yes.
Megha ji?
I want to clarify what I said.
Please,
Okay, all right, yeah.
I did not talk of note verbals.
But on
I
the ground,
said we
those.
must reciprocate in the same way. In other words, tit for tat. We've done it in
But-
the past.
but that's too
so
cheap.
if you're harassing our diplomats in Islamabad, I'm not going to use the word harassment. I'm going to say we must use the same tactics with their huge diplomatic mission posted here. They have an enormous mission, you rightly pointed out. They own the territory in Chanakyapuri, we can't get them out. So we should make it very clear to them that every time they harass our diplomats in Islamabad, we are free to do the same with their diplomats. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking
But
about note verbals.
is this-
Note verbals
is this-
standard diplomatic
Yeah.
jargon.
But
Do that all the time.
Sumit
We do
Peer,
that
is
all
that
the
going
time.
to work?
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Yeah. Sumit Peer, is that going to work? At the end of the day, we are lowering our standards, which is not what India stands for. So does that make sense to actually stoop down to their level and do exactly what they're doing? But then there's no difference between India and Pakistan.
There's a lot of difference.
There is ma'am, Megha ji, there is a lot of difference between
Of
India
course.
and Pakistan. Today, our stature, our power is much bigger than us. We may not reciprocate in the same way, but we can make their life miserable in 101 things. For example, I've been very clear on my thought process. Proactive offense on Pakistan, support the Baloch freedom movement, support Baloch Liberation Army, give political asylum to the people or the activists who want to come to India and run the cause of Balochistan from here. I mean, these are the things what we should do, because Pakistan is a Gundagar country. If you come to their level, unko koi farak nahi padta, because I am telling you on air, ma'am, these ISI goons are rendered useless, nameless and shameless. They are good for nothing else. What do? They go and harass our esteemed diplomats. That's the best thing they can do. They have to justify their job to the generals, because generals must be asking them, "Bhai, paise kis baat ke lete ho? Kya karte ho?" By doing this, they come in news. You and me, we got in a debate. We talk about them. They go and talk to their bosses. Saab, humne kuch kar liya. But this tic-tac might not be an answer. We have to hit the Pakistan strategically where it matters the most. We know Balochistan, and in the long run, break Pakistan into 4 parts. Be proactive. Increase our stakes on POK, because POK is still an unfinished agenda. The Indian diplomacy and the military has to get aggressive, because tit for tat doesn't work with that. Might work with civilized people. These people are jihadis, because for them embassies are from jihad and jasusi. While as anywhere in the world, embassies are not meant to do that. They are meant to promote cultural business and people-to-people contact. But for them, inka phada ulta hai. They don't understand any civilized language. So hit them where it hurts them most.
Absolutely. Colonel Shailendra Singh, come in on this.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
A tit for tat tactic is not going to work. We are not going to stoop as low as Pakistan. So what is the measure that needs to be taken to reciprocate and to tell Pakistan not to mess with us?
Okay, let me put it in a very, very simplistic way. You are wanting to call ISI as a rogue organization. Is that country where our embassy is it not rogue? It is more than rogue. It is more than rogue. Coming to the point that what's the point in chasing? Yes, they have a point in chasing, because that's the easiest way they can make our diplomats feel insecure. That is more important. It could have a further more nasty planning behind it, but the diplomat is under tension that yes, he's being followed for whatever reason, whether for a kidnapping or for doing whatever. Your point regarding jasusi, you see, Pakistan always will treat us as a jasus because they are themselves doing jasusi all the time. So there is nothing new. Tit for tat. What is tit for tat? I'm going to recommend that tit for tat is not going to work.
Absolutely.
For tit, it has to be bigger than tat, bigger than what they can, bigger than what they can afford. It is now the time. It is now the time to tell them that we not only are very good at this language of understanding, but we can be very abusive about this understanding also. And in that, there is nothing called as standards that we cannot stoop down to their level. No, we will not. We will do something entirely different, and we'll make it so difficult for their diplomats who are doing jasusi actually here and they have been caught red-handed, that their life will be made miserable even inside that boundary wall. Coming to the legalities, you see, there's a very beautiful system world over, and United Nations acknowledges it. The safety and security of all embassy is of the host country. They are responsible for it. However, we have not had this problem first time in the world, and especially to our country. We have been having far too many times all this happen. So what do? You protest. You put up official protest here in India to that embassy, and there are embassy protesting with that government. What else you do? Put a FIR. Make it legal by their system. Take precaution. And what is the precaution? Ask for a police escort. If we are very clear that we are not into any kind of espionage activity, what is my problem? Please escort me from one place to another. Not only that, we have done it long back, if people can remember. Our embassy staffs were always moving in double cars for their own safety, with their own people, with their own escort. Police escort given or not is with the host country to decide. But at the same time, when you take your escort, start traveling in double vehicles. Take more than adequate precautions that yes, which are visible to anybody and everybody. You try to touch us, we are there to fire you, we are there to kill you. That's the language which Pakistan understands. That is the language which ISI understands.
Okay, Basmati, coming over here, why is it not perhaps a way to bring back our delegates? Because we do not want them to be hurt at the end of the day, physically, emotionally as well. And back in 2019, they went ahead and cut the electricity, cut the power, they went ahead and cut water supply. And these cheap tactics continued last year, last year, previously as well. So what is stopping us from removing all our delegates just for their safety and well-being?
You must understand that in the relationship that we have with Pakistan, it is important to maintain diplomatic relations. Right now, the relationship is at the level of chargé d'affaires because if you would recall, due to the unfortunate circumstances last year, we did not send a new High Commissioner, we withdrew our High Commissioner, and we have not sent a High Commissioner. The same is true here for the Pakistani High Commission. They are headed by a chargé d'affaires. Now, withdrawing all our diplomats or reducing the strength of our embassy at this critical moment may not be the best solution, because just as they need their guys here, we also, for various reasons, which I can't spell out right now on a television program, we do need a full presence in Islamabad. We have vital stakes in that region. There is a lot happening in Afghanistan. The Pakistanis are trying their level best to reduce our influence in Afghanistan. We need to be present in Pakistan to know what is going on. So just reacting in this manner to just one incident is not a good way. Secondly, I would like to tell Colonel Shailendra Singh that what he has outlined is true, taking out 2 vehicles, etc. However, when he said that for 1 tit we should give 2 tats, etc., this is a very carefully calibrated game, as I'm sure Colonel Shailendra Singh knows very well. We will calculate whether the time is appropriate to give 1 big tat for 1 tit or not. That's for us to decide. At this point of time, we are not going to discuss that on television. This military strategy and diplomatic strategy cannot be discussed with due respect on a media channel. But you can be sure that we are strategizing to decide at each point when they give a provocation how we are going to respond. And don't forget, in the middle of all this, that they are still holding on to that poor man, Kulbhushan. Please don't forget him. He is the pawn in their hands. So far, we don't know. Is he alive? What condition he is in? Have they made him into a vegetable, etc., etc.? So, this is a very complex game. And I think each time that there is an incident like this, we have to play it very carefully. But yes, I would reiterate that we will have to make it very clear to them, as they know very well now, that India will not take it lying down. What measure we will give, we will think, and we will give it right back to them. And they know that very well.
Colonel
they must
Shailendra,
be right
coming
now
on this.
thinking what kind of measure we are planning against this unprovoked aggression on our diplomats.
Absolutely. Colonel Shailendra, comment on this, especially Pakistan continues to arm twist simply because it's using the pawns that it uses. It is, Kulbhushan has been under their custody illegally, so even though there have been international bodies that have been questioning that move. So why is it that we cannot raise the international bodies, the United Nations, to bring about a condemnable action and a strong action against Pakistan over here?
Before that, let me tell you, I fully agree with that point, that how big and how strategically bigger is that pact obviously cannot be discussed by anybody for that matter. Coming to, I must tell you, removing of our delegates there and closing that gate there, I don't think that's a solution. That is what they want. That is what ISI wants. That yes, we should have no presence in Pakistan, so that whosoever is there in Pakistan suffering and who has to be an Indian, well, he doesn't have any access to. Because there are a lot of things which our embassy does good for the local people and even the visitors from our country. Now coming to the role played by UN, well, let me tell you one thing. The UN also is one organization which physically will not send you a policeman to escort you. So if we are expecting that anything big is going to happen at UN, well, nothing happens, yes. But in spite of that, the protocol demands that a protest to be given there. Yes, we should give it. There's no denying that fact. Coming to this point that yes, how to control Pakistan on this issue, that is more important. That is what will sort out everything. Let me tell you, as I told, that Pakistan understands only one language. And that is the language in which it is always speaking to India. We are always unnecessarily getting biased. We are humbling down by our tradition, cultures. That okay, हम तो आपको आप ही कहेंगे. Well, let me tell you one thing. आपके साथ आप कितने निहायत ही बेवकूफ हैं ये जरूर कहा जा सकता है. आप कितने खराब हैं ये भी जरूर कहा जा सकता है. उस आपकी वैल्यू को किसी तरह डिवैल्यू नहीं करना. Pakistan needs this kind of language. Whereas it is very clearly spelled out. They should understand, they understand, but it has to be further told to them, reinforced. You do this, there's something bigger happening already.
Something bigger is happening already, obviously, militarily, diplomatically, yes, we've already scuttled every single of the moves, and this is a sure shot sign of desperation, what Pakistan and ISI have been doing. Sumit Peer, comment on this.
Meghaji, you see, there is one, what we say, if there are two lines and you have to make one look smaller, what do? Without touching that line or without using an eraser, you make another line which is much bigger than that. That is how the diplomacy works. We don't have to do tit for tat. हमें उनको दिल्ली में नहीं रोकना, harass नहीं करना. But we have 101 options which cannot be obviously discussed, which we can use. Overt, covert, strategic, diplomatic, financial. As long as you don't incur a cost to the Pakistan military, Pakistan establishment financially, militarily, and we have a lot of covert ways which are available to us. We have friends there, we have friendly nations around, we can use a lot of influence, because the influence of India is much bigger than Pakistan, maybe diplomatic, financial, military, or other capabilities. Even technologically we are much advanced, when you talk of NTROs and all of the world. So there are a lot of things we can cause havoc to the Pakistan. So unless and until we have a stipulated procedure, if they do this, we don't have to go and stop the diplomat in Delhi, but we do something, it's like a billiard. I hit a ball number C and the ball number E goes down the hole. That is how we have to do that. So there we have to only send one message. Look, Mr. Pakistan, we have all options open. हमारे पास हर विकल्प खुला है. If you do this to harass our diplomats, you will have these options open. And I completely agree with the fellow panelists. We should have a diplomatic mission there because we strategically need to be present there. And as I've been saying from the from the beginning of this debate, ISI is, ma'am, getting useless by the day. Now this is the easiest thing they can do. What you can do, just follow somebody in 3 cars, hawk him, move from right, move for left, just to create that fright in the mind of the diplomat. But our diplomats understand this. These are very tough people. They are trained and they are doing a fantastic job. I think it's a very, very difficult job. If you are ambassador or a high commissioner to Pakistan, it's not an easy job. And I salute them for that. I salute them for their resilience, what are they doing to the country. We need them there. They are not there for their sake, they are for our sake. And one thing has changed, Megha ji, let me tell you, there was a time, I'm not bringing in politics here, but there was a time, we used to have iftiar parties at the Pakistan High Commission and Yasin Malik used to be present. Hurriyat wale aate the, bhaiya, hum jahaz ki ticket bechte the. Those days are gone. Pakistan knows that. In the soil of India, whatever it was doing 6 years back cannot be done under the leadership of Modi ji. Those days are gone. Now what they are doing, they are going for what we call in English low-hanging fruit. जो हमारा बेचारा ambassador है वहाँ पे जो हमारे diplomats उनको तंग करो is the low-hanging fruit. It is shame on ISI. This is what you are good at. This is what you are reduced to. This is what you are paid for. To chase off people in the cars when they are going to a bank, when they are going to buy their groceries. भाई शर्म आनी चाहिए आपको. You should really pity yourself. Are you an elite force? Are you an ISI? This is what you are paid for. But our options are very open. We should declare we will have a countermeasure. We may not touch you, may not do tit for tat, but there are 101 options which are available to a country like India, where it is stature today, and we should keep on increasing. We should have an escalation ladder. If you do this, we do this. You do this, we do this. So
and I'm sure those strategies are already in place. Bhaswati Mukherjee wanted to come.
Of course.
I just wanted to say one thing to my colleagues here, that what you are saying makes sense if we are all Indians sitting together. But if you've dealt with Pakistan, you would understand that with the kind of incident that took place with our CDA yesterday, we have to do also something visible here in Delhi. That's the language they understand. So if we don't do it, they'll think that this is no longer India under Modi. These are the good old days of the past. So please understand that while I fully appreciate that as Indians, uncivilized behavior doesn't come easily to us, if they have harassed our charge d'affaires, that's a very serious matter. They have an extremely decent and nice charge d'affaires here, whom I know personally, and I'm sure that we don't have anything personal against anyone here. But the point is that if they harass our CDA or our colleagues in Islamabad, they have to understand that there will be equal and reciprocal action, to put it in diplomatic jargon, equal and reciprocal action exercised by us in accordance with our sovereign rights here in Delhi or whenever we choose. We have to make that very clear to them. If we don't do anything right now and we wait, they're going to think this is very nice, and you will see how much they will escalate. Because they did it last year, if you would recall. They were following children to school, they were harassing wives, they were shouting obscene Punjabi abuses outside their houses. So, we have to stop that from reaching that level very quickly.
Absolutely. Colonel Singh, last words from you and then I wrap this up.
When it comes to international diplomacy, I do understand that as a country, one has to act very responsibly. Why? Because you are not reciprocating only to Pakistan. The world is watching and it gets quoted time in. Within the same, I am also saying that as everybody is bringing up, there are hundreds of ways that yes, we can still do it diplomatically correct, but it will hurt them where it hurts most. And I am again reiterating, Pakistan only understands that language when it damages them.
Yes, Pakistan understands the language only when our action, our reciprocatory actions damage them and hurt them the most, where it hurts the most. That's the point that we are targeting at. Reciprocatory action is going to be taken strategically, militarily, and also diplomatically. I thank all my guests for joining me on the broadcast.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.